Cassie Labori, founder and principal consultant at Cassie Labori Consulting, and the original virtual training hero. I've been working with people all over the world for the last 2 decades to help them figure out how to do virtual training, how to present webinars, and how to generally manage the technology when working in a live online environment. And that's what brings us here today. What are 5 things that you can do to successfully run a live virtual event? The first thing to know about successfully running a live virtual event is to consider your audience. Why are they here? Why are we doing this? It's real easy to get wrapped up in what you want to talk about, what you need to organize the entire event, who the speakers are, if you're a trainer, wrapped up in what the activities are. But it's always important to remember, what is the objective? Who's the audience? And what are they there for? When they leave that event, and especially when it's online, because it's so easy to leave them, what will they be able to do differently? Or what will they have a better understanding of? Or what will have inspired them? The point. The platform. Oh, I love technology nowadays. Come on, it's so boring to sit and just watch someone on camera and talk and all the chat all the time. Know the platform, whether it's, Zoom or WebEx or Teams or whatever it may be that is being used. Learn the features and what is available to you, and then mix those features up so that you can involve the audience in different ways. So for example, one of the things I love to do is to just bring up a picture as an image and then ask people to respond. I'll bring up a poll with some different responses around that image. You could even use the chat and have them respond with different, reactions to that. You could even, if you wanted to take it a step further, most of these tools nowadays have annotation tools available. And so you could even let them circle parts on there or mark dots or do something along those lines. But know the platform and know what your options are so that you can involve people in interesting and different ways. The participation. What are people doing while they are with you in your online event? I have a mantra, and it goes like this. What did I just say or do that you could have said or done? So an example of this, it's pretty common for a presenter to bring up, say, a list of tips, and they'll put the tips in bulleted format. And then they'll proceed to read them, tell you all about them, and then ask you what questions you have. And of course you have none because you weren't really paying attention. But what I would love to do instead, using the mantra, what could I say or do that you could say or do, is I'll set the tips up. So an overview story, and then I'll ask you to read them yourself, and then use reactions to indicate when you're done reading, and then use the annotation tools or the chat, depending on how large your audience is, and ask them what they think. Which ones do they want to talk about? What questions do they have? What do they agree with? What do they disagree with? What do they expect to see work? What might be challenging? Ask them to be involved with it. The participation. The presentation. How are you presenting yourself? How are you presenting your content? Are you looking into the camera? What's the angle? People just aren't accepting it nowadays when the lighting is off or the angles are awkward, or if maybe there's something distracting that's going on around you in the view. They're not accepting poorly designed slides, slides that have too many words on them. You have to pay attention to the entire presentation of the content and whether that's accessible to the audience that you are presenting to. The passion. This last one, I love this, as the word might suggest. I gather with virtual training heroes all around the globe, and if that's of interest to you, you should stop by and check out what we're doing around Cassie Labori Consulting. But the last tip for running a successful live virtual event is about the passion that you bring to the topic that you're presenting and the topic that you might be organizing. Because this is what's going to help you to make authentic connections with people, to be real and to As much as I might say, learn the technology inside outside, I also do like to say you need to get over it, because we have these computer screens that are blocking us from one another. And how do we break that down? How do we come together in ways that really help change people's lives, that really impact them, inspire them? And I think that that's about you bringing the passion to the work that you do. And so, thank you. So, thank you for listening to the 5 things that you can do to successfully run a live virtual event. I love doing it. I never thought that I would love doing this when I started off in my career a couple decades ago, but I do love it. And I look forward to all the things that you're going to do to start changing the way that you deliver your live virtual events too. So, keep in touch.